Good, how about you?
Bad, not bad. Can't complain. What can I get ya?
Can I get a Manhattan?
Yeah. Can I see some ID?
Yeah.
Thank you. I just gotta grab some cherries. I'll be right back.
All right.
I'm here to serve my customers and keep them and the public safe. A large part of that is verifying age by checking the IDs of my customers. There are many items to check when examining an ID, and I've become really accustomed to the Pennsylvania IDs. But in the summer of 2017, the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation began rolling out a new design for the PA state IDs and driver's licenses. My bar is near one of the first licensing centers issuing the new design, so I've gotten familiar with them fast. They'll start being issued at all photo license centers across the Commonwealth by the end of October 2017. So you'll begin seeing them soon too if you haven't already. The outgoing design won't be phased out until 2021, so for a while there will be two different looks for Pennsylvania driver's licenses. Let's take a minute to familiarize ourselves with the new design. To effectively identify ID fraud, IDs should be checked under good lighting. Some of the most common alterations are not always obvious. If you suspect an ID to be altered, borrowed, stolen, or counterfeit, you have the right to and should refuse service. When checking IDs, it's important to follow an established routine. Memorize the steps and use them in order every time you check an ID. An example of a routine approach is FEAR. Feel, examine, ask, and return. First, F. Feel for pinholes, bumpy surfaces, glue lines, rough edges. You should hold the card until the carding process has been completed. Next, E. Examine the ID. This step is where you will notice the most changes when looking at an ID with the new design compared to the outgoing design. Look at the photo for comparison to the customer, date of birth, and expiration date. You also want to examine the font for consistency and the following new features: a background design with the PA state emblem, a laser perforated keystone outline with PA embedded in the cardstock, which can be observed by holding the card up to any light source, lamination with an optically variable pattern with the state motto, Virtue, Liberty, Independence, a keystone outline, and 1787, the year when the U.S. Constitution was ratified by Pennsylvania. On the back of the card, there is no longer a magnetic strip, a graphic displaying near the bottom that reads Pennsylvania, 1787, 1D and 2D barcodes, which when read contain data that is visible on the front of the card. Keep in mind, the elimination of the magnetic strip means these licenses and ID cards may not be able to be scanned by a card reader unless and until updates are made to the card reader by its manufacturer or provider. If you're having issues scanning the new IDs with your scanning devices, contact the vendor. As a solution, some licensees are manually typing in the driver's license number or the ID card number into their point of sale systems to ensure they're not knowingly serving underage patrons. Licensees can also ask patrons to complete and sign a Declaration of Age card, the PLCB 931. Next, you want to A, ask the customer some identifying questions such as his or her date of birth, his or her age, zip code, a middle name, or for a second form of ID. Just make sure this is his or her legitimate ID. Last, R, return the ID or refuse service. At no time should you willingly confiscate a suspected fraudulent ID. Always remember that as a server seller in Pennsylvania, one of your most important duties is making sure you are selling alcohol responsibly. Checking IDs when you're unsure of the patron's legal age to purchase, and make sure you understand what you're looking for. Until the outgoing design is completely phased out in 2021, you'll see a mix of the outgoing ID designs and the new designs. Take your time to thoroughly verify each ID you ask for and serve responsibly. Thanks for watching.